Hello and welcome. I am the LastHPHero, and you have found your way to Neon Lights Roleplay. Tonight, we have a special roleplay expedition unlike anything you have seen before. Gathered here are some of the most lavishly loquacious lovelies ever to lean into a yes and. Over the course of the next handful of hours, we are going to play our way through a Kids on Bikes adventure based on the fabulous world of Mystery Fleshpit National Park, created and used with permission by the inevitable Trevor Roberts. If you haven't seen the original website and the Reddit board laying the foundations of this setting, then you are missing out on one of the most inventive cosmic horror locations since old what's-his-face first Fangaloo or Mangalnoft Cthulhu. Prior to anything further, we must share with you, our viewing audience, some content warnings. This Kids on Bikes game will feature prominently exaggerated bodily functions, massive scale bacterium, and throughout this exhibition, our players who are portraying children will be in constant danger. I have also collected a series of images and GIFs which some people may find unsettling. Barring any complications, kick back, relax, please stay on the trails, and at all times leave no trace. Take out with you what you take in, and above all else, be good. That's the rule. Good. But before we begin the role-playing antics and activities, it is only fair to reintroduce our players and their characters in the event that you missed our first episode, which was a mere month and a half ago. Yay, time. Everyone, please let us know who you are playing this evening. Also, if you would be so kind as to answer this single question in character, what is your character's internal thoughts about the goopy friend introduced at the end of last episode? Now, I need to bring up the stream so I do this in the right order. Nothing is off. All right, robotics first. Now, for the moment you have all been waiting for. In the bottom left corner of your screen, weighing in at too much for you to handle, he is the automaton who's got it going on, the machine who ain't got no mean, the elegant electronic, it's Robotic Gentleman.
Hello everybody. I'm Robotic. I'll be playing Johnny. Guess I'm the oldest of the group if I remember correctly, and this is the only game I'm still playing right now, but I cannot wait to get back into this to see this wonderful conclusion.
Excellent, wonderful, excited to have you here. Continuing in and around next on our player card, the dashing doppelganger dedicated to dabbling in dramatic dalliances, guaranteed to bring a smile to your face. It's Sarah next Franco.
Hi, I'm Sarah X Franco, and I'm playing Callie. I'm 9 years old, and I really like Shira. And as far as what I'm thinking about that weird gross thing, please don't let it touch me. Please don't let it touch me. Please don't let it touch me. Please don't let it touch me.
I'm certain that it will leave you alone. I have no doubt at all that it definitely won't come over to make friends. Friends and foes. Tonight, we dare to bring to you a particularly dangerous member of this role-playing regiment, known in some parts as the Neon Apocalypse, the scintillating Cacotopia, and only in the state of California, the Sunshine Slayer. It's Bright Dystopia.
Hi everybody, my name is Bright. You can find me on all forms of social media, Bright Dystopia, and I will be playing Miles. Hi everybody, my name is Miles. I think this thing is icky, it's stupid, and it smells like grandpa.
Well, that's just kind of how things are. It's fine, it's okay. We will see what comes. Chrissy was defeated by the old boss monster, but don't worry, she will be back sometime soon. Last but not least, on our roleplay card for tonight, we present an actor in no need of introduction. This playful powerhouse puts up plot points in a class far above mere pretenders and AP posers, clocking in at no fewer than 3 classes out of your league. It's Corn Dog McGraw.
Hello, I'm Corn Dog McGraw. I will be playing Danny the Icky, and I'm just real excited that we have this new little goop friend, and I'm just gonna grab it immediately. Can I have it? Can I have it?
You most certainly can. A goop friend just for you. Now, to take one moment to bring everyone up to speed in case you missed our introductions, our players are a group of children who are visiting a rather eclectic location in the Permian Basin of Texas. They have gone to Mystery Flesh Pit National Park, and as it sounds, Mystery Flesh Pit National Park is mysterious. It is a pit, and it does appear to be made entirely of flesh. They explored the upper surfaces of the flesh pit while they were here before going down the pit entry orifice where, en route, unfortunately, their gantry had a little bit of an episode. It collapsed. It was attacked by some macrobacteria. The park ranger escorting them was tragically killed, and the group of kids jumped into, well, what is assumed to be an abscess of some kind, a red and irritated hole in the side of the Mystery Flesh pit entry orifice, and there are pools of terrible smelling yellow pus. There is drips coming down from the ceiling above, and they find themselves really in just a very not great, nice smelling place. While there, one particular drip got larger and larger and larger, and when it fell, it was a little bit less yellow, a little bit more creamy colored, and it had a wonderful little smile as it landed with a right into the hands of, well, our wonderful little party. The surroundings around all of you, there's a huge series of pools of pus. That's the best description. The goo coming down from above, likely the very same thing. As you pass by one of these particular pools, there is a sound that immediately makes your dear friend Ida run. I'll get help! And Ida runs back the way that you all came. You look, and Ida, terrified, grabs one of the hanging wires and starts scrambling. There's a moment of panic, a moment of not knowing what to do next. And by the time any of you have the chance to get over to look, Ida is way up into the darkness. That's where we left off. At least that's where we left off now. As Ida ran away, there was a as the little gooey friend landed on the ground next to, we will say, Miles. And that is where we'll pick up. So that's what's taking place. That's where you are. Miles, there's a goopy friend next to you. The game is all of yours.
Is someone gonna pick that up? No?
Yes.
Great.
I'll like crawl over and pick it up, like
Before you
hunched
even
over.
get there, he like kicks it and hacky sack pops it up in the air and like boots it in your direction.
You hear a whee! It splashes against you, Danny, and kind of flops off of the front of your shirt. And you look down and you see what is mostly a formless creature, but as it seems to look in your direction, there's like these two little eyes that kind of roll up to the surface, but it's just the shape of eyes. There's like this little mouth that appears that looks just like your mouth, and a little nose that looks familiar. And it looks up at you and just goes,
Lost you if you made a sound.
It just
Yeah,
pops.
your noise gate's being real
Noise
mean.
gate not letting you make it use that. Oh no!
We lost Bright.
We lose Bright.
We lost
We
Bright.
got Bright.
Bright's back.
Hello?
Discord decided right then to restart for me, I guess.
Oh, well.
Cool.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. We'll get
Hang on. It might fix.
sorted
No?
itself out.
I did it.
Hey.
Sort of. Yeah. No. I
Gotta
did it.
love it.
I have to. Where is my sound gate? Limit. Let's turn that off.
The dumbest thing I've ever seen.
There we
I
go.
got it. Ha.
Yeah, we heard the little
Excellent.
Callie's gonna is looking at Danny. I don't think that you should touch that. You should definitely wash your hands if you want to touch anything else.
Where's the sink if you want me to wash my hands?
Callie like reaches into her like back pockets, like trying to feel for anything, and goes, "Oh no!" It just looks at you really scared.
I am just holding and embracing this little thing, and as it made that pop sound, I would have started making pop sounds.
Oh,
Like one slimy hand just in the mouth.
every time you
That's
do
how we
it.
communicate. Yes. I have a babysitter. Great. It's like a
As
boy,
you-
but a person.
As you all are standing there, that rattling sound that you periodically hear gets just a little bit louder. It's this. It sounds kind of like the tail of a rattlesnake. And it seems to be coming from one of the pools nearby.
We should probably leave. Snakes are still dangerous, even if this guy's great.
Nope. Later. I jump up and grab one of the wires that Ida spun up,
Mhm.
and I start climbing.
You jump up and grab it, and as soon as you do, it just slips out of your hand.
Nope. 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 Is there multiple wires? I'm gonna jump up and grab a new one if there is.
All right, you jump up to grab another one, and it swings out of the way. You get your hand. There's just this. The nastiness dripping from the ceiling has gotten all over your hands. You just can't get a good grip.
Johnny, which way should we go?
This whole time, while they've been talking to the blob thing, Johnny has basically done a cursory look around of our surroundings. Since he already just proved we can't follow Ida, what other ways do we have to go?
Sure. As you start looking around, you do see that in the walls around the walls are kind of concave. They have a bunch of holes of different sizes. It looks like that you could kind of pass through if you'd like. But the abscess itself appears to go deeper and kind of curve away from the opening that you all jumped through. And Miles, while you are over by the edge, just across the way, after you have jumped up to try and grab one of those cables, it swings over, it bats against the side, and when it comes back, there's something hanging on the end of that cable sideways. It looks like this. It's got 6 legs. It would come up to about your knee. It has a large bulbous head, and it kind of swings towards you on this cable that's coming your direction.
I let go of my cable.
You let go, land
Yep.
in a pile in this abscess. It keeps swinging and hops down next to you, probably about 6 feet away.
I'll like throw pus off the ground at it, like just splash whatever I can, since I don't have like any weapons or anything.
You all have are flashlights. You can make a sounds like a flight snap decision to me.
Flight.
Flight.
Oh, whoops. You said flight, not fight, right?
Correct. Unless you want to punch it. Do you want to punch it or run from it?
No, I want to run from it. I'm not touching
Okay.
it. Let me roll flight again. What was the flight number?
3.
Flight was 3.
3? You turn around to try and run from it. And when you do, you slip and fall face first into one of these puddles. You are covered in this nastiness. And as your head comes up, this yellow, foul-smelling liquid dripping off of you. Swimming in the slime towards you is what looks like a worm. About the size of your arm. And you see that the back of its tail, as it gets closer, starts shaking, and you get that sound. It looks like it's the whole rear of its body just seems to be vibrating and making that rattle. What's everyone else doing? As you turn and look, you see that Miles has face planted. There is something about knee high, slowly walking toward him on 6 legs.
John is going to, I guess, I would say probably take like a rock or something and throw it at the 6-legged creature.
You're going to look around for a rock. You take a look around, and this isn't normal ground.
Okay.
You don't see any rocks, anything along those lines. Everything seems to be kind of more on the soft and gooey side. But yeah, so there's not really any rocks to throw.
All right, in that case, I will flash my flashlight at the creature and try to make myself scary. So intimidation.
Intimidation, fantastic. That would be another roll that falls into the categories. Kids on bikes, snap decision, probably charm.
Oh, my best skill. It's not. It's more skill.
You can do it, buddy.
Wait, did I press it? I don't know how this works. Oh,
Remember,
wait.
dice explodes, so when you roll you have a dice that's assigned. So you roll
Okay.
that dice. If you get the highest, you keep rolling.
Do I put a modifier in?
I think as a kid, you get a +1, right?
Yeah, we never wrote this down. It doesn't let you write it down on the thing. Yes, I am
Yes,
a kid.
+1 to charm.
+1 to charm.
Yeah.
That's my one.
You get to add 1 to whatever you roll.
Okay. Ah, 3.
A 3. Just like before, not fantastic. You start flashing the light, and while the 6-legged creature seems unfazed by it, the worm heading toward Miles, it stops and dips down below the water, or below the other two up top.
Why are we still here? There are things coming towards us. We should leave. We
I
got
think-
this. Just hold the blob. I don't know what it's for.
Callie's just as soon as there's a creature and people start throwing stuff at it, Callie's gonna turn and look at Day. Throw the thing, throw the thing, throw the thing. Just like screaming at you to throw the little glob.
Why?
Just throw it. Maybe they want. That's what they want.
I am going to look at the blob thing that's making a face that's oddly similar to mine and be like, do you want... I'm gonna point its face generally at the 6-legged thing walking towards us. Okay, fight! And then I'm going to, like, just wiggle it to see if it'll do anything.
It will jiggle, and its face will flow through its body to look back at you. And you'll kind of get a sense of... You don't really get emotion from it. You get a feeling from it. And the feeling, it's funny because you've never felt this emotion in your hands before, but that's what's holding on to this little gloop right now. And in your hands, you feel resolve.
Callie has not stopped screaming. Front, 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 front. She's just on the ground, kind of holding her head.
I'm just going to charge in
Okay.
and kind of throw it, but recognizing that it's sticky, so more like throwing myself the six-legged thingy to figure out what the fuck this is. Like, I guess I've got to be the one to stand up for my friends. And that's the resolve that she's taking from this thing's in her hands.
Perfect. So what I will do is have you roll a snap fight. Sounds like a fight to me.
Ew.
2.
I've got a blob in my hands.
You go running and you wind up in order to splat this against the six-legged thing. And as you run, you trip. Very similar to how Miles did. And when you fall, the blob connects to the side of Miles's head. Miles, there is this as this thing connects to your head. And it just takes a moment before you start getting a feeling too. And you've never had this feeling in your ear and cheek before. But the feeling is move, 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 gotta go. And before you can even do much about it, you pull yourself up and scramble away from this six-legged thing. Danny, you kind of recover in the mess of all this. And Miles, you just get the sense of further away. Time to move.
Is this like, is there like a power that's being activated with this thing or no?
It's a power being activated by the thing, except we're not going to use any powers for it because it is basically the roll that to get it there. So instead of hitting the creature, it hit you, and you just get the sense it's time to go. And you can heal yourself.
I would like to run as fast as I can. Are we going up and out? Up and out, right? Yeah.
So the six-legged thing is between you and the up and out.
I would like to jump and try to jump. The head looks like the least gross part. This little this little Gushers fruit snack thing that's kind of attached to the top of it.
Okay. Yep.
So I'd like to jump and like step on that and use it as like a Mario jump to get away and over it. It's only knee height. I feel like I could.
Knee high. Yep.
Look out for the pointy butt thing.
So that will be another flight.
Is it my turn? Or,
We're gonna have Callie see what Callie's up to, and a 4, and then I didn't grab dice.
They're all rushing this thing, but I think Callie's just going to stand and scream. I think like hoping to maybe like Sarah the player is hoping that this action will like distract or like be like if there's anything worse than a little kid just standing somewhere screaming as loud as they can and how like just overwhelming that can be, like that's what it is Callie's just gonna stand there and scream, and I'm hoping that it will like make these creatures like hesitate or run away or just be like, this is why I'm never having kids or something.
Perfect. So Callie starts screaming. The as Miles gets up, what'd you roll again? A 4, you said?
Yeah.
4. Now that is less than the 7 that it rolled. difference of 3. All right, you fail, but not too badly. As you run to take a step on this, you kick the thing in the head, find yourself tripping again. You catch yourself, and the little goo thing on the side of your head, you just get that sense of move. As you trip over this and stumble, swinging across these cables towards you, you see another 2 of these things that are dropping between where your gantry fell and you entered this particular abscess. So 2 more of these land.
No.
Let's go through the butt, the other way.
Callie's just gonna stand up and start running towards the butt.
Yep. Callie starts
Screaming,
running deeper
still
in.
Screaming.
Screaming, running deeper in. Danny, you say deeper in. You start going yet, or are you still standing?
I'm gonna grab the goo off of my buddy's face.
Okay.
And just like press it into my own body and start running, screaming behind Callie. Just if Callie is screaming, I am trying to make it that much worse because it feels like what we're supposed to do now because yeah.
I imagine that there's some level of like, oh, this is a game now that 2 of us are screaming. And so we're both kind of like leaning into it and like changing the pitch of the scream. So at first it was just abject terror, like a single tone, but now it's like, 2 of us are like playing a game almost.
It's not even just sounds, it's
Yeah,
O's and E's.
Yeah.
I guess in that case, Johnny will be bringing up the rear, just making sure that I don't lose another one of them because I'm probably gonna be in deep trouble for losing Ida already. But yeah, you say we made it out that room. We made it out that room.
Miles, you running for it?
Yeah. No, I had to run past. Fuck. Corndog, what's your fucking name?
Danny the Icky.
Danny. I had to run past Danny for her to yank the thing off my face as I was like sprinting
Perfect.
with this.
As soon as that comes off, the side of your face kind of gets cold and numb for a moment
I have a stroke.
before it wears off.
You're 11. You can't have a stroke.
Want to bet?
Complete screaming.
I'm about to share some information with you, Corndog. It's gonna make you real sad.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
No!
Oh, no.
I prefer ignorance.
Johnny, as the last one out to make sure that everyone there got out, I just started cycling. Weird. As
Like on a bike?
that's what my watch said I was doing.
Oh, nice.
As Johnny, as you turn around and look, one of these 6-legged things goes over to one of the pools, stands over the top of one of those snaky worm things, and just stabs it with some kind of a needle that came out of its butt? Question mark? The place where all 6 legs come together.
So what is it doing in the gym?
Potato.
Cloaca.
It jabs this worm, and you can hear that
It's like a weird prairie dog, man.
rattling sound.
Really?
That's the thing you see as you turn to run, and all of you splash through this cavernous abscess, goo dripping from the walls. There is this screaming pitch change happening between Callie and Danny, and at some point, the little goo ball in Danny's hands also started making kind of a sound along with it.
The goo is screaming with us.
And goo started screaming with you.
It's so cute.
But it's definitely not a human scream. Yes. It's just like a single tone, goes up and down on occasion. But you go sprinting through. It's not too long before the smell starts to fade just a little bit. The ground, which was a very soft, squishy, fleshy feel. It's still fleshy, but it kind of hardens a little bit more. It's not quite as, it doesn't feel like the rotten side of an apple so much as just an apple. You go running through, and after a few minutes, your throats start to get just a little sore. You definitely feel, at least, like you've put a lot of the danger behind you. And you look around and realize that, well, this definitely isn't what you were thinking it was going to be. Looking around, you can see what may have at one time been a handrail or something, but the walls of the flesh pit have overgrown it, so you just see like parts of a handrail. And when you look down, there's occasionally down at your feet, there's a metal mesh, like a walkway, but the flesh has grown up through the diamond of the grates. So it's kind of like not quite looking right. And when you look up at the ceiling, there is a set of pipes that seem to be going along this corridor that are moving into and out of the sides of the
I'm trying. Oh, go for it, Johnny.
Okay. Johnny's just gonna look at the group, and as out of breath as he probably is, he's gonna say to you guys, okay, guys, stay together. I can't afford to lose another one of you. And don't touch him. We don't know if whatever might end up like, I don't want any of you to end up like Ida.
You think something bad happened to Ida?
She grabbed the vine and she Mary Poppins out of here.
But she's fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, she probably took the long way around, but it's my job to keep you all together. And so I'm gonna get in trouble for letting her slip away.
You were gonna say letting her die, weren't you?
I was
Is
not.
she
gonna...
dead?
Oh my god,
No.
you think she's dead?
Oh my god, she dead?
Are we all gonna die? Are we all gonna die?
Am I gonna die?
Why do I have such low charm?
I think Kelly has a little bit of a like panic attack. But then she remembers how she was pushed out of a moving car one time and survived, and that kind of steals her resolve. And she'll like do that little kid where it's like, okay, so how do we get out? Just like the immediate like stop of the tantrum.
Good.
Okay.
Well, I would say he looks around, point to the pipes, say, those gotta lead to something. It's better following the direction than, just wandering.
Remind me, how big are these pipes?
So there's probably about it looks like a set of 3 pipes. They might have
Okay.
had something written on them at some time. Every once in a while, you think you see the Anodyne Deep Earth Mining logo on them.
Mhm.
Wait, do they go along the wall or do they go along the ceiling?
So they're kind of ceiling wall, like if you were in a corridor, they'd be against the ceiling up at the top of the wall. And they're kind of passing into and out of the sides of the surface. And they definitely look like distended sometimes, like the stuff just has grown and pushed them out of the way. But they're sticking out enough you could definitely follow them. But as far as they're only a couple inches, like the biggest one's like 4 inches in diameter, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I think hearing these instructions of we're gonna follow the pipe, we're gonna find a way out, Callie will do a little and is gonna start walking, following the pipes, but being very careful not to step in any of the gross little puddles, like recognizing that it's everywhere, but like anytime something splashes up on her overalls, going like and like continuing to follow the pipes.
Yep. The group of you start walking down, and as you are heading through this pipe or along this pipe, you can see they're moving along the walls. They're going up and down. They've kind of lost any sense of, if these were built and put in place, it was a while ago, and the growth and the changing of this passageway has really shifted where they are, and they start moving down the wall to about the middle of the wall. Every once in a while, you lose the metal grating beneath you completely. And after a few more minutes of walking, you come to these two orifices at a more or less a dead end at the end of this passageway. One of them is rhythmically pulsing. There is this low bass, um, um, and its entry seems to open just a little bit to about a 4-foot hole for about 1 second, and then it closes again for about 3. And every time it goes through that cycle, you hear this om, om. The one next to it is a lot tighter. It looks like it's down to probably only about 2 feet in diameter, and there's this sound that it's making as it's tightening. It's not pulsing at all in beat with the other, two completely different senses. Um, Callie, as you're following these pipes, the pipes go through one of these two passageways. Um, is it in the middle of the larger passageway that's thumping more rhythmically? Or is it in this other one appearing to be almost swallowed, being pulled loose from its brackets?
I feel like it's the pulsating one.
The one with a beat, not the one swallowing?
Yeah, the one that's got rhythm.
All right, the one with rhythm. So you follow these pipes. They go along the wall. They go down, and they go through this larger hole, and it opens up, and then closes. And that's the direction the pipes go.
So we're gonna keep following the pipes and go into the weird music room. It's kind of like that Fantasia movie where there's the sounds and the lights and the stuff, and maybe we can find a helpful broom in there.
I don't know what version of Fantasia you were watching, but
It's the one that had a hippopotamus and the ostriches, but there's the little brooms and they do the funny dance, and they help Mickey Mouse just have so much water everywhere.
speaking of which, I'm looking at these orifices. Are they at least tall enough for us to walk through?
So both of the orifices, the one with the pipe that is pulsing and the one that seems to be making a swallowing sound,
I'm just curious.
you're confident that you could fit through either. One of them's a little bit more of a tight squeeze, but the one with the pipes is opening up, and you just have to be ready to go when it's open.
It's like a door.
Kind of like a door.
Okay. Can I see on the other side of both of them, or is it just more dark hallway or flesh stuff?
Well, the pipes go down the one that's rhythmic, and the other one doesn't. You can't see through that one that well. It just appears dark. You get close and shine your flashlight, and when you do, you can see that ringing the entire orifice. There's like these little, probably about the size of 3 fingers, phalanges. I don't know, appendages. They're wet, and they're just like moving like this around that orifice as it's making the sucking sound. And there's hundreds of them all the way around it. The other one seems to be much smoother. It's a lot more of a taunt muscular appearance. It definitely would be easier to fit through, and the pipes go that way.
I feel like we should follow the pipes because adults made the pipes.
What happens it's like the Fantasia, the one that that's very end, that's very scary, and it has the mountain, the wee sounds. That's kind of what this sounds like if you think about it, huh?
I wasn't allowed to watch Fantasia. It would lead to death. And I'm gonna go try to get through the big hole with the pipes.
All right. So this pipe, it's predictable pattern. It opens for maybe a little bit more than a second, maybe a second and a half, almost 2 seconds, and then it closes for 3 times that long. But if
So
you
it's like jump rope, but different.
Just like jump rope, but different. So, Danny, you going first?
I'm gonna try it out.
Perfect. Let's see how well you can time this. Now, you have... Well, this is just narrative. You can't fail, so it'll just be how you are going through. Are you diving through head first or trying to hold it open while you push your way through? Power or finesse?
It's about power.
I'm not about power though. I'm about finesse, I think.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll flight, and we'll see how you do making it through.
You right. I saw you stick your hands through your leg pants, so
yeah,
it's about finesse.
I'm all about all about the finesse, the look.
Serves.
11.
You stand there for a second. You start timing it. Opens, closes. Opens, closes. And on that open, you dive through with your little gooey friend. You disappear through this orifice at the side of the mystery flesh pit.
Because I rolled so well, can I also click together the heels of my sneakers that definitely light up as I fly through, so that way everyone can see how cool I am?
As you dive through, you clack the heels together and the lights on the side go... You dive through, and it's more like the side of a mussel, it seems. And as you dive through, you fall just a little bit, and there is this splash as you land in this very clear liquid. I mean, it might have the slightest bit of kind of white filaments in it, but it's much, much clearer than that pussy stuff from the other room. The passageway that you are in it's wide enough that you can stretch your hands out and touch the sides without straightening your elbows completely. And you kind of have to hunch over just a little bit. It seems to be just a little bit taller than it is wide, but not by too much. And there's about it's about ankle deep fluid that is in there.
It's wet, but it's fine. I'm alive. I shout those things every 3 seconds as I see it opening.
You can hear clearest along with the bass. It's wet.
Johnny rushes to catch up to her, so he'll go through next.
All right, diving through.
For the best, because you're doing a bad job.
No, I'm using brawn to hold it open.
All right, go ahead and roll me a brawn.
And that is, why does that never pop up right? Oh, it's right, gotta do no modifier. 7.
7's exactly what I had in mind. You hold the side of this as it is pulling in, and as it tries to close, the walls of the mussel just kind of shudder and stop moving. And there's this sound that you hear, and this just little droplet of red starts coming from the top of this passageway. The mussel quivers just a little bit and stops pulsing, so you can pass through without any problems.
And I'll just walk over to the other dude. Come on. Oh, I'm still holding. Is it still resisting me, or is it just
not as much? You can definitely hold it almost indefinitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
Callie, once it's clear that he's trying to allow us to get through, Callie will try to scamper right on through.
Climb up over, ankle deep, mostly clear fluid, little bit of white floaties in it. Same thing with the rest of you. And Johnny, you're the last one through.
Yeah.
You step through. As you let go of the muscle, it kind of quivers a little bit. Miles, you gonna do anything different before you go in?
I'm gonna swallow my old throw up because I was covered in smelly pussy goop. There's like a gross banana cream pie on my face. I shook all of it off, and I'm just gonna swallow a big mouthful of throw up.
Okay. There's that little bit of acid taste, but I think you can keep it down. That's good. You climb in, Johnny. As you let go of the muscle, it shudders a little bit, seems to readjust, and then it takes a moment, and it's off rhythm. But before long, it gets back to that pumping. But what all of you notice while you're in it is there is once for about a second and a half, every 5 seconds, there's this bass that just pulses. When you look up, the pipes go up and head on down down one direction in this smaller channel, a smaller passageway.
Or maybe it's like the one part in Fantasia where it has the little unicorns and we can get on one of them and fly out of here. You know, I called dibs on the little blue one because it was my favorite. Kelly has entered this weird fugue state where she's just like choosing optimism and is like doing her best to ignore everything around her.
Heading down, there is this splash of it's a very different substance. There's no smell in here at all.
Okay.
It seems to be a much cleaner passageway than where you were. The pipe stays up near the top. You can see it snaking and moving up and down, so it definitely is it's definitely moving, but not as often. And then every once in a while, again, there's that little bit of pathway that might have once been in place and now seems, mostly like it's been let go. It's just not been upkept at all. You start making your way down, that sound every second. And after about 5 minutes of walking, the liquid begins to rise from ankle level to about calf level.
Is it noticeable?
Definitely no. The passageway's not gotten any larger, but you definitely seem to be going through more fluid now. Every once in a while, you pass by kind of a hard outcropping on the side of the wall. It's like a light gray color. You didn't see too many at first, but there's a couple along the way.
Are we there yet?
You move further, and more of those stone outcroppings seem to be showing up. You can reach and touch both sides, and every once in a while, there'll be entire areas where you have to pull your hands in just a little bit tighter, where the entire passageway seems to narrow for a bit. And when it does that, the liquid level is noticeably higher. On average, it seems to be about up to your knees at this point. And throughout all of it, there is that hollow, rhythmic thum, thum, coming from deep within.
What's even making that sound?
Because
And a heartbeat.
Or rhythmic fart.
Does your stomach make that kind of sound?
Only when I have cheese.
Mine makes this kind of sound when I have cheese.
Yo, Mine's a little bit more like a. But when my dad has cheese, his are raised with a lactose intolerant.
He doesn't have toes.
No, that's why I can't eat cheese. But when he has it, his stomach doesn't make any sounds. But he runs to the bathroom and he goes, "Bleh!" Makes that noise for like an hour.
I don't think that sound like this sound though. This sound like one.
What could be that's just on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, but sometimes. I feel like I heard this sound before, but not. Johnny, what do you think this sound is?
Me?
Yeah, what
the
do you
only
think
one
the
hit
sound is?
Johnny. Sorry, I barked. I didn't mean to. I'm scared. I
Oh,
don't know what to do.
We don't have our book bags or anything, do we?
Yeah, you got a backpack. You got whatever you want. You had in your have in your backpack. You've got and
Oh.
flashlights too.
And did by chance, I can't remember. Can we just say that I pull like one of those little tourist maps from like the gift shop?
Sure, I'm all for it.
Is there anywhere on that map I could figure out that we might be at the moment?
Absolutely. So you start looking at the map, and I might actually.
You'll find a landmark. Take a left at the pimple.
Way too many pepples over here to be a landmark.
I think.
We're at a tunnel.
Or maybe an artery.
Open.
Oh. Do you think this thing bleeds clear?
And while he's flipping through the map, he's gonna say, "Well, there are a lot of insect species that do, but necessarily, what the heck is this?"
So you pull up the map that you grabbed, and it's more of just kind of the general features. You start looking around, and
Oh,
you know that the gantry went down deeper into the flesh pit,
Areola.
but it's not any of those growths. This is Texas, very conservative area. Any of those growths on the surface are covered. It's one of the rules of mystery flesh. But the trail maps were down at would be down at the lower visitor center. So unfortunately, there's no trail map, but kind of looking at it, reading the general odds and ends. Go ahead and roll me a brains. Let's see what you can make of information on the pamphlet.
Johnny goes quiet after he reads the word bowels, and just prays it's not us. We don't have to smell.
Oh, it's not smell anymore.
Well, it can't be worse than what you had for lunch yesterday.
It was hot Takis and orange juice. Turned my poop red.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Roll a brains, Johnny. Johnny, roll a brains.
Roll brains, okay. 9.
9.
I unleashed the power of the side of the bathroom.
So you are able to piece together, looking at the pamphlet that you grabbed from the visitor center, that you're not on a marked trail. You definitely get that sense. You're able to put together that you're not on a marked trail. And in fact, there's none of the signs you'd recognize as being from the Department of the Interior even. Nothing says National Park about this. It all seems like old and industrial. So you're able to piece it. You're probably on one of the old mining paths rather than the newer National Park
I will relay that same information to the party while writing it in my notebook.
Yep. As you're piecing that together, the knee-high liquid rather suddenly recesses and goes down to less than ankle height.
What the heck just happened?
It sneezed.
But if we
Or-
sneeze, we probably go whoosh, you know what I mean? Because
Oh,
it
yeah,
has
that's
a lot of
true.
force.
What else shoots out a clear liquid that it could have done?
Well, sometimes my mom tells me that I have to stay really hydrated.
You think it drank?
Or maybe
Or-
another thing.
Maybe it's some third awful thing.
Do not drink the water.
I wasn't even a little tempted. I'm still covered in
saying
stink.
out loud.
But where did where did it all go? Because if we won't get out and the liquid got out, maybe we can't get out the same way.
I don't know.
Perhaps we can find a sphincter.
forever.
Perhaps there's a sphincter somewhere in here.
Oh,
A sphincter.
I say we all go forward and we just hope that we find something, a
That's
stairway.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sphincter.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what sphincter is?
Is that one of the classes from health? Because I didn't get to take health. class.
Yeah, it's in a health class, and everybody has some. But some people have more than other people, it turns out.
There's no way you learn this in a Texas school.
Do I have a sphincter?
My mom teaches me homeschool, so I learn more things. Yeah, you have sphincters because I did too.
Are they
Everybody does,
gross?
kind of.
There is a sound in the distance that sounds like the sloshing of liquid rushing in your direction
From where we came or where we're going?
from behind you.
In that case, as soon as I realize that, I'm just gonna yell to the other one, just run. Who's the smallest again?
probably Cassidy or whatever.
I think it is Callie. Callie's 9 or 10.
I'm gonna try to grab Callie and just run.
Callie's just gonna be screaming, try to find this sphincter!
Yeah.
The
Get out through the sphincter.
What is it? And I'm just going to run as well.
the little goo friend in your hands, Danny. Instead of having like a goopy body, you feel this like tension within it, and it kind of the outer shell of this kind of hardens a little bit. And again, you have this weird feeling. You don't feel this in your hands usually. You usually get like butterflies in your tummy when you're nervous, but it feels like there's like butterflies in your hands from being nervous, just from holding this little goo friend that is hardening. And the liquid starts flying back through this tunnel. And I need everyone to make their choice of a grit, brawn, or flight check to keep from getting bashed against the sides too bad.
Remind me, do we want to roll high?
Yes, you always want to roll high.
So grit, brawn, or flight?
Yes.
Okay, we're going with brawn because that's the best I got.
What's the 2 skills for a kid that get the bonus?
Charm and
Flight.
light.
Fight. Wait, flight?
Oh no.
I thought it was fight.
I have flight.
wow.
You all turn around to
Gang.
look, and the entire tunnel that you are traveling down fills with this clear liquid that is just rushing through. Go ahead and give me your results.
I got a 14 grit.
14 grit. Fantastic.
I rolled a 4 brawn.
A 4 brawn. All right.
I rolled a 6 broad.
6
I'm
brawn.
only there with-
Brawn gang.
My bad.
Hey, John.
That was
Johnny
the
got an
grossest button I've ever pressed.
An
on
8.
myself.
And what did you roll
18.
for? Oh, an 18.
Yeah, I got an 18 while holding on to a little bit.
All right. And then you used. Sorry, I can't have all these open at once.
Grit.
Fog.
Grit. Perfect. So both Danny and Johnny grab a hold of some of these rocky outcroppings along the side and just brace themselves. Meanwhile, Callie and Miles, you turn and try and lean into this fluid as it comes rushing towards you. Callie, you lose your feet almost immediately. But as you roll back, you slap against Johnny, who is gripping tightly, and Johnny grabs a hold of your backpack by that little hook on the top, the handle on the top, and it goes tight as you are splashing in this water that is rushing down.
I need it to be known that Callie is 100% has both hands clamped on her nose because she does not want to get any of this stuff up her nose.
And Miles, you also lose your footing and slap into the side of, fortunately, the other high roll of Danny, and just stop against Danny as you're turned, your back is pressed against Danny's legs as Danny is bracing between these rocky outcrops, and this plasma liquid is just washing over you.
I'm screaming in Danny's ears. I'm like holding under.
Yeah, it takes just a few seconds, and that flash of liquid passes and drains back down to about ankle height again.
I'm gonna be sick.
The exact sound I expect you to make when this subsided too, because of all the water you swallow.
I'm not even ill.
Surprisingly flavorless.
Oh gosh, I don't know if that's better or worse.
Can't stop. I need new gum. Need new gum. This is gross.
The little goo friend softens in Danny's hands, and its flesh like starts rippling as it's tossing the liquid off of itself. Turns up and looks at you with kind of a similar look as what's on your face.
We need to get out of here.
Did we follow the liquid?
Absolutely.
Should we have just like ridden it down? Should we have just like water slided it? Should we do that next time?
No. We don't know what's at the end of this. It could be a spike trap or more of those things. I'm gonna have to name those. Matter of fact, I should give those a
Spike
name.
butts?
I mean, if we discovered a new species or two, first dibs go on name.
What about Greg?
For which
Greg,
one?
Greg the spike butt or Greg the worm?
How about Fartholomew?
Yeah.
Callie is just going to be kind of pushing, like as we're having this conversation, she's going to be moving ahead, trying to find what she cannot pronounce, a sphincter of some kind to pass through.
weirdest obsession.
After everyone kind of gets their breath, you start heading further down the passageway, and it starts to open back up again. It's not quite as tight and constrained. The rocky outcroppings are subsiding a little bit. It's going back to the normal, almost locked elbows to feel both sides of this wall. You keep heading down another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. As you're walking, the liquid rises up to about mid-calf level.
No.
You get to another area of rocky outcroppings. It goes up to knee height.
Nope. Miles is quickening his pace like a whole lot.
Miles, go ahead and roll flight as you start picking it up and jogging along.
I think it's the same case. But Callie is gonna start kind of air dog paddling, preparing for the wave, like when you do a wave pool and it comes and you're trying to catch it. She's doing that.
Okay.
Roll of 3.
Roll of 3.
It's not gonna be great, but we get +1 because kiddo powers, right?
Yep. So because you're a kid, you get +1, and Miles, because you have failed 3 different times. You actually can add up to 3 to your roll.
So I roll a 6?
They're called adversary.
Oh, can I save those?
You can save them or you can use them. You're at 3.
So when we fail a roll, mark an adversity token?
Yes, mark an adversity. I'm sorry, I've been forgetting to do that.
I just wanted to make sure, because I have things I can use for them.
Add 1.
Yep.
I rolled a 5.
5?
I'm gonna save them for later unless this kills me.
Nothing. So, fair warning to both the players and the audience. Everyone's playing children. None of you will die. You might get hurt, but you won't die.
Oh, we'll see.
Let's play hard mode. I just spit everywhere. There is
no more Bethesda rules.
So that has the +1 already. So 5 for the +1. A 5 for fight. You're planning on fighting the?
He just.
Did I?
Can't see.
I think that's the wrong one. And Danny, you notice that yes, again, your little friend gets that nervous feeling and hardens.
I am going to brace for impact again.
No.
Okay.
9.
A 9?
Yeah.
So everyone kind of so Danny braces, everyone else starts running. But Danny, who locks in some of the rocky outcroppings, the little gooey friend kind of wraps around one of them and hardens, and you can feel them harden around your hand, also sticking you even more against the wall. And then there is that rushing sound again as
No. Actually, can I grab the goo friend? I'm gonna run up and try to snatch him out of Danny's hand. I'm just gonna palm it, and I'm gonna punch my palm and just squish him like a bug.
Okay.
Can we describe what powers we're looking for here?
Absolutely. The more the
I'm just
better.
gonna keep wailing on him in the palm of my hand, making squish noises. I'm just kind of beating down as hard as I can into this little gummy baby, and eventually he's just gonna amoeba around my fist and blend in with my flesh and make a bigger fist. And I just want to keep punching the wall until the sphincter that opens up to flood it in just kind of sags and collapses. I want to give this cave sleep apnea.
Okay. All right. You start punching the sides of these kind of mineral outcroppings. And as you do, a big chunk of them break off behind all of you. And there is this cascade as almost all of the tunnel fills with this placky rubble that was attached to the wall. There's the rushing sound of the liquid coming, and it slaps
Miles, what did you do to them?
I made him into a boxing glove. I got misted in my mouth. My hand is numb.
It looks angry though now, correct?
It does look angry.
I mean, yeah, I guess. Sorry. Sort of.
He's really sorry. He didn't know what he was doing.
I knew what I was doing, but I'm still sorry.
Shut up. I'm gonna approach it.
The pseudopod's whipping. Its semi-face turns around to look at you, and it kind of recognizes you. And the pseudopod goops back into the body. Kind of waddles over, and 2 little nubs come out the side and wrap around the middle of your shin. It plops on top of your foot.
Sorry, Miles did that to you.
Thank you for saving us anyways and doing a really cool thing that you did. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I panicked. I didn't.
Maybe when we get out, he can go to speech therapy with me, and we can learn to talk more better. And he can better express his emotions.
You walk another few hundred feet through this tunnel, and you get to another opening in the side of it. One much like the one you entered that is pulsing. It's definitely a sphincter. Yeah, it's a sphincter. Sphincter.
Yeah, that's what we've been looking for this whole time, is a sphincter.
You pass through. There is a drop, only about 8 feet or so. It's a drop that's just far enough that when you look down, it seems really far. Anybody going first?
Oh, I have something for this. And Callie, I'm gonna burn my 2 adversity tokens to reach in my backpack, because I have the prepared. So I can spend 2 adversity tokens to just happen to have 1 commonplace item with you. I'm gonna pull out a jump rope,
Perfect.
A big long jump rope, and look at Johnny and say, "We hold on to this and we can climb down it like we was in a Indiana Jones movie, and we can just slide down."
I'll take the rope, but I'll also look for something to actually wrap it to, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to hold on to these kids by myself.
You feel like you could probably do pretty well.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, I'll hold on to it as they start climbing down.
One at a time, you make your way down Callie's jump rope, held onto by Johnny. It takes just a couple minutes, kind of have to work yourselves up to it. Anybody excited about it? Anybody scared about it? Or you just
When it's Callie's turn, she'll kind of grab onto it and close her eyes really tight and go, Toriano, guys, go. And she'll like drop down the jump rope, just real scared.
Miles, does Miles jump for it or go cautious?
I'm gonna go cautious because I have the clumsy flaw. If I do it stupid, I'm gonna fall and snap my neck.
Perfect. Take your time working down. Danny, you diving for it or going slow? Just out of curiosity.
Going slow, only in this instance, to help our little blob friend feel a little bit more secure after just getting punched forever.
When I get to the bottom, I like to take out my juice. By the way, I have a Capri Sun in my backpack.
Yep.
I want to be like, hey, I'm sorry I punched you a whole bunch. Maybe this will make you feel better, and I'll like poke the straw in it and like just sit it next to Danny.
It tastes like tropical.
The little goo thing will hop off of Danny's foot and kind of scuttle over to the Capri Sun. And it'll kind of look at it, it'll poke it with one of its little nubs, and then turn and look up at Danny.
Oh, you do this, and I take like the smallest sip out of the Capri Sun and then set it back down.
It's sugar. It's awesome.
It waddles over and it kind of develops like a little nub of a head to go with its little nub of arms. And it just headbutts the straw. And the straw pierces into its little gooey body. And you start hearing this. And you see the Capri Sun packet go from full to empty almost right away. And then there's this. And the straw goes deeper in. And it goes deeper in. The head gets a little bit bigger and goes over the end of the pouch.
No, you don't need the whole.
And then the pouch starts to disappear.
What are you doing?
Before long,
Okay.
the entire pouch is inside of the little adipose.
Okay, but I guess did you like it?
Thumbs up.
Miles, you can add a new power to what you can do with this creature.
Okay.
It is called Consume. This little creature, you look down and it was double fist sized. Now it seems to be just a little bit bigger, maybe twice the size as it was. It can push items directly into its belly or stretch to encompass larger prey. So if you would like,
I
you
saw this
can
anime. I know how that
use this creature to consume something.
I watched that one time. I turned into a slime. This is a great power. I'm gonna use it with reckless abandon.
Did you say this out loud? Because I'm gonna ask what's anime.
Yeah, it's like cartoons, but like with way more punching and violence. It's awesome.
It starts bouncing up and down with little squinty eyes and not quite a smile on its face. So it doesn't seem upset with you anymore.
Cool. Thumbs up. I'll like make this gesture. This means you're okay. That you're good.
A pseudopod comes out of its head and kind of changes shape a little bit and throws a little thumb. Pops all back together.
Nice.
Johnny, you're able to climb down without any difficulty during all of this. All of you find yourselves in a much larger space. It seems the walls are kind of sinewy. They have this striation along the side. They're rounded and they go a lot higher. The pipes come out the same sphincter that you just passed through and go down closer to the floor instead of up at the ceiling. And you can see the remnants again. There's these it looks like it might have been a metal passageway, but this time instead of just being encompassed by the flesh, it's kind of bent sideways in places, and you can even see where the metal is crimped. It's kind of more like the wreckage of a path that leads deeper into the mystery.
We want to keep going into there and then see what's inside.
No, not really, but it looks like it's our only real choice, so.
I could try screaming real loud again, and maybe someone can hear us.
Or the worm snake could come back.
Oh, you mean Greg?
Yes, yes, Greg.
I didn't like Greg, and I screamed really loud, and Greg didn't seem to care.
Yeah, we don't know how many Gregs are around here, so we just until we hear someone else, we won't call back.
Okay, but I okay.
Okay.
You start heading
Callie's
down.
gonna grab her little elbow and just like go that like oh kind of way and just kind of follow.
You head further down this passageway, and as you look, you can see that the sides, the cavern itself is 30, 40 feet across. Much, much larger than what you just came out of. The pathway occupies an area close to the wall off to the left as it goes deeper in. You can see in the along that floor, you can see those pipes going forward, and you do get a much better look at them in this area as opposed to where you are, and you do see the Anodyne Deep Mining logo all over them. It looks faded and worn. Yeah, not a trace of the national park, only this much older and yeah, kind of where the park started. As you're heading down the way, there is in the distance the sound, a splashing sound of liquid coming out, and it's much fainter. If you turn and look and shine your flashlight that way, it's just bright enough to go far enough to see that plasma-y liquid start spurting out the side of the sphincter that you all passed through. And there appears to be small shapes in it. Maybe 4 or 5 or a half dozen. And Callie, you can just barely make out, probably because you were thinking of them just a little bit ago. The entire half dozen shapes all look like they have 6 legs. Kind of a gusher head on the top.
They look like Greg's.
They look like Greg's.
Wait, the worms?
Nope, not the worms. These ones.
No, like Johnny keeps forgetting which one she calls Greg.
She calls them both Greg. I think Callie's just gonna stop when she's kind of sullenly following behind because she didn't have a very good screen plan, and is gonna, when she sees them stop, and go, guys, I think there's something in there, and I don't think that you're gonna like it because I'm pretty sure that is little baby Greg's.
What are you talking about? I'm gonna turn on my flashlight and point it at the area.
You shine it that direction, and 120 feet out, 200 feet out. So, I really don't know how far flashlights shine inside of them.
Depends on how many lumens they have.
Well, these ones are enough to get about 120, 130 feet out. You shine down, and you can see these 6-legged things standing upright. They kind of whip upward, and they wander around in circles for a little bit. And yeah, you can see a large number of these bacteriophages, well, 6 of them, start skittering in your direction.
I don't think you can call them that anymore, HP.
Call them what?
The PH word.
A bacteriophage?
Whoa, dude.
There's a biology joke here I'm not getting.
There isn't. It's not even a biology joke. It's gonna be okay.
It's bright. can pray.
It's a horrible joke. It's a really bad joke. If you don't get it, you're a good person. That's all I'll say about it.
So-
yeah.
Yeah. That's what you see in the distance. Start heading your way. About twice as many as before.
And they're just little guys.
About knee high. At least 3 of them are knee high. The other ones are about half that size.
Here's my problem: is all my stats are trash except my charm. So I don't know what to do.
That will be relevant here in a little bit. Don't worry. I had all stats in mind while looking at these various.
We asked our blobby friend for help.
That
We
would be
didn't
under
ask
5,
them.
right?
Here's what I want to try and do. As they're coming at me, if they're running at us, I'm just gonna turn to everybody and yell, "Find a way out!" And I'm gonna take my little backpack and I'm gonna try and just swing it around and fight them. I want to just try and batter them with my little backpack. And if they're at my knee, I'm a little kid, I'm gonna try and stomp on them too, like they were bugs.
Okay. So these things are still several. I mean, they're about 100 feet away from you, heading your way. So you're gonna
Yeah, I'm
encourage
not gonna
everyone to
stop to
run
do
while you
that.
stand. You're gonna stop to do that.
I'm not gonna stop. I'll run,
you-
but if it looks like they're gonna get close, then absolutely I'm gonna do that.
Got it. I'm
I'll
fine
lock
with
eyes
everyone
with
running.
Danny.
I mean, running is always an option.
I lock eyes with Danny when I hear blobby friend, and I go, Capri Suds.
I want the butt pokers to poke them.
Look, Capri Suds. It'll make sense in a second. I'll take Blobby, and I'll huck him and be like, Capri Suns, a bunch of them, and I'll hurl him into the air. And I'm gonna do this when we're close enough to them that I can hurl it into the air and have him land umbrella style.
All right. All of you start taking off down the hall, but these bacteriophages are catching up with you along the way. And they do get to the point where, Miles, you grab a hold of the little blobby friend, you whisper Capri Sun, and you chuck him. Now, the way that the powers work, this little blobby friend right now has a fight of 7 or 8. So it has a D8 for fight. So what you can do, so it has this psychic energy that it uses, and as long as it has it, it's perfectly healthy. When it runs out, well, it kind of collapses in a heap. And right now, your blob has 6 psychic energy. Now, if you toss this, what you do is when you throw it, you roll 2d4. Wait, where is it? Sorry. I'm not well versed in Kids on Bikes, so I have to grab these as soon as they come up.
We reversed it, and then we just didn't play for 2 months.
Yeah, I did. It's fine. Yeah, so basically, you roll 2d4, and you can add up to 6. Now, the number for this little blob to consume one of these, I'm going to say that for one of the 3, one of the littler ones, it only has to get a 5. For one of the bigger ones, it has to get a 7. So, if
Can I
you want to
use
toss it in
adversity
that
for these?
direction, you can. It has 6 psychic energy. You can use as much of it as you'd like. What did you roll? Now let's go.
I
look.
rolled a 5.
A 5.
Could I throw adversity on it to make it bigger?
You cannot give your adversary to the powered character.
Fuck. Okay. Then I rolled a 5. I'll throw him at a tiny
Now,
one.
you can add the psychic energy. It has 6 points basically.
Yeah, but I gotta burn 2 of them to eat one of the bigger ones, and he rolled a 5, so I'm just gonna have him eat one of the smaller ones.
All right. You toss the little blobby friend into this mass of things chasing after you, and it goes flying through the air, and you chuck it directly at one of these smaller ones, and there is this as it splashes into it, knocks it to the ground, and completely encompasses it. The other 5 keep heading your way.
Whoa. Cool. Ah! I'll run forward with my flashlight and like shine it at them, and I'll make noises with my mouth like a lightsaber, like I'm annoying them.
Perfect. You start running. There's definitely fewer of them. Go ahead, Johnny. What was that?
I'm gonna say, as we're running through this hall, Johnny's gonna be looking for like some kind of old equipment from the company that he may be able to use to like slow these things down or even take one out.
Sure. Because of the muscles in the handrail, I'll say that part of the handrail broke off, and you can have a good, 3-foot long metal pipe if you want.
I will take what I can get.
Sounds great. So you got a 3-foot long pipe. And after a few moments of running, you realize that running probably isn't going to do it. They are catching up on you. So we have Callie's plan to swing a backpack. Johnny is going to lay him out with a pipe. And the little blobby friend is trying to catch up, moving fairly slowly. Like when you shine your flashlight back behind you, you can see that the blobby friend has gotten up, but they're like a little bit bigger than they were, and they're kind of waddling along, trying to catch up. So Callie, since you were set for backpack slinging, why don't you go ahead and roll a fight?
I will do that now. I rolled a 2. I'm gonna mark one of them adversity tokens.
Well, so you swing, and it tries to dodge your swing. And it also gets a 2. So you succeed, but just barely. Narrative control. The defender narrates the outcome. Never mind. So you swing at one of these 6-legged Gregs, and you hit it right across its gusher head. And it's like one of those clowns you remember at your cousin's house. It has that clown that when you punch it, it goes back, and then it pops back up. Yep. So you hit this thing with your backpack, and it goes bloop, bloop, bloop. And there's kind of this sloshing sound inside of its head. But it doesn't seem particularly bothered. Johnny, you're swinging a pipe?
Yep, and I got a 7.
The other one tries to duck out of the way and roll 20, rolls a dice for me. Oh, only rolls a 2. You succeed. That is 5 more. You tell me what happens when you swing this pipe at this thing.
All right, so Johnny sorry, kids, if you can't hear that. Johnny just overhand comes down right on top of one, knocks out that top part of you, say like a pinata, and it just crumples.
You swing it, it does crumple, but it doesn't take it out completely. It stumbles to the side, and instead of popping back up like the one that Callie hit, this one, when it swings back up, it's like the neck part of it. Something broke, and like the gusher head is just on the side, but it's still stumbling around a little bit. Danny, what are you going to do in the face of a bunch of bacteriophages?
I'm going to turn around. I don't know if these things have mouths or noses. I'm going to rip some ass on them and participate in biological warfare.
All right. So,
I don't know what skill that's going to be, but that's what I'm fixing to do.
I'm thinking that's a grit.
Yeah.
How do you feel about grit?
I love that for me.
All right, so we're gonna
grind my teeth real good, and once one gets close enough, there's gonna be the slightest leg lift.
Yep.
I'm balanced on one foot, just tooting it up.
So go ahead and roll me that grit.
Stink palm strike.
Again, 3.
It rolls a 2 for grit, so you have a successful stink.
Stinky.
It doesn't do too much harm to it, but this bacteriophage on 6 legs, skittering up to you. You turn, you fire, and it kind of just pauses for a second and sways around a little, and it decides.
I like to think it just gets confused and just kind of like runs around in a weird little circle.
Like, oh wait, never mind, not that one right now.
How old are you again?
I'm 12.
Old enough.
Old enough to know better.
Goes in a little bit of a circle and like stumbles off to the side.
Oh gosh.
That is all of you. So there's still 2 of them that are up and eager and ready to get into the mess of this. Miles, one of them comes running up to you and tries to bash you with its gusher head. Now, combat in Kids on Bikes, you essentially tell me what you want to roll to avoid getting hurt. And almost anything can apply with some creative. So it is trying to hit you with its own head.
I'm gonna. They look squishy. Is the head like hard, or is the head like, you know, a weird sack of like juices wobbling around?
So the best bet right now, it seems more like a weird sack of juices, but
Okay.
you do know you have been hit by a water balloon hard enough for it to bruise.
Okay.
So
I'm still gonna see the big old bag of juices, and I'm gonna brawn this one, and I'm gonna headbutt it back to try to, like, just. There's 2 rams on a mountain, and my horns are sturdier.
perfect. It is going to swing. You go ahead and roll yours, and it will roll its.
7.
Yeah.
A 7 and again a 2. That's the 4th 2 in a row. 2 on D6s, 1 on a D8, 1 on a D10. You exceed it by 5. You tell me what it does, and I will tell you how your attack goes. I will tell you.
It runs up and like it bashes heads with me, and I like buck down and put my arms back and headbutt, and we both just kind of collide at what would be our foreheads, and it's gonna bounce back and kind of just like weeble and wobble, but not fall down.
It definitely does. It takes a few steps. It looks even, well, a little bit more confused than the one that took a face full of gas, as it just stumbles back, moves around, collapses in a heap for a moment before it gets back up. And then there is one more, and it is going to go after Johnny, who really laid into one of them with his pipe. And Johnny, you tell me, how are you going to avoid this as it tries to bash you with its fluid-filled head?
Johnny is going to, let's say, I'm just going to straight up block it. I'm going to hold my pipe like Luke Skywalker did and Return of the Jedi. Just straight up blocking. What is that, a grit or a brawl?
Either is fine with me. So grit's kind of, you just brace yourself to take the attack. Brawn, you're kind of fighting back into it. So either way is fine.
I'll use grit to just block it with my lead lightsaber.
Sure. It tries to bash at you. It gets
26.
a 1. A 26.
Why is it a 26 on a roll 20?
It's a 26 and a roll of 20 because Kids on Bikes uses exploding dice. So if you roll the highest number, you roll an additional die and add those together.
Wow.
Nice.
So
Did you
you
go?
exceed the roll by 25. You have full control over the narrative.
All right. Well, if you're going to let me, I'm just going to, as soon as it bounces off, I'm going to give it another melon smash.
This is just part of your defense.
Oh, okay.
It tries to bash into you. It fails. It connects with the pipe, not you, and there is a splash as its gusher head detonates. The 6 legs and the neck wobble and collapse, and kind of this like empty fleshy sack on the top of its neck hits the ground with a splash. Your little gooey friend catches up with all of you. So you're able to collect them. There's still a handful of these left, but two of them turn around and skitter back down the hallway the direction they came. Um, but you seem like it's a good opportunity to take off. There's this moment of quiet uh, as you pick up your gooey friend. They seem to kind of purr as you pick them up, and they slosh around a little. And if you hold a flashlight up to the side of them, you can see on the inside there's this little six-legged thing that's just kicking a little bit inside there. But they seem quite content. And with that successful encounter with these bacteriophages chasing you, I think we will take a brief break. I will make sure that our break button pusher is on hand. And we will take off. So yeah, there's this moment of silence, this quiet, the happiness and goo of your little friend, and the remains of, well, whatever that thing is. So stick around. We're going to take a short break, not more than about 5 minutes or so, because we're only going to be up until around 11:30 Eastern time. So hang with us, and we will see you so very soon. Take us out of here, Foxy.
Keep in touch.
Hello and welcome back. We pick up with the group of kids running away from a pretty successful, I would say, clash with these bacteriophages that are chasing after them. They have filled the belly of their goopy friend with one. They have removed the top of another and, well, have generally disoriented a few. You continue heading down this hall at a little bit of a jog, hoping that these things behind you lose interest. You know, maybe they'll lose interest. You follow along, you find the pipes again, and before long, you do find that there's two more entrances, or exits rather, from this muscular cavern that you're in. And Miles, you look at these two passageways, and one of them, um, for reasons just on the edge of understanding, this passage both appeals to you and disgusts you at the same time, and you can't really figure out why. Like it's a very visceral reaction, but it's confusing. You like this passage, you don't like this passage. It looks interesting, it's disgusting. Kind of a lot of mixed feelings, and you look a little bit closer, and you can see that there are a bunch of pinky-sized popules around the surface of this entrance. And just like the others, it's about, 3 feet across, easy to pass through if you'd like to. And every once in a while, one of these little pinky sized popules will just, and it will spurt, and a little bit of mist will come out. They're not very big, but there's just these, and there's hundreds of them around this entryway. You look at the other one, and the other one is notable because there are 2 foot tall dark brown hairs sprouting from the surface around this one. This particular section, a bunch of them. I mean, they're kind of cascading down, coming out. Yeah, that's the two entries. Now through one of these, the pipes continue, and it's up to Miles to tell us which one the pipes go into.
The left one.
The left one.
Where's the
The hairy one or the misty one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. I'm gonna go with the hairy one. No, Misty. No, hairy. Yeah.
You look over, and these pipes go down the wall, and they pass through kind of this curtain of not ridiculously thick. I mean, maybe finger thick hairs that are about 2 feet long. And you can see it pass into the passage, kind of parting across the top.
I hope. I mean, I think most hair is on like the outside, so I'm gonna reason that the hairy path means we're close to outside. Maybe we'll come out like a nose or an ear. My cousin's 16 and he has hair in his nose and ears. He uses special trimmer to like remove it.
Why?
I don't know. I guess it like probably like feels good, you know, like when you get like a haircut, you feel like fresh and lighter, you know? Imagine that, but in your ear and your nose.
Callie's 100% that kid that like every time anyone tries to like cut her hair, she's doing this. So like this whole concept is like no.
What if he gets them all three cut at the same time?
His hair and his nose at the same time?
His hair and his ears and his nose all at the same time. Do you think it's like head'll deflate? Because of the hairs being all removed?
Probably. And yeah, Johnny's just gonna peer down the hair cave.
Okay. The hair is thick and you can't really see in. Just gonna swim through, Johnny.
Yeah, I cautiously move forward.
You part the hairs with your hands and jabbed in the eye. You have that tickling in your nose as the end of one hits you in the nose. And you start pushing your way through this forest of thick hairs. It takes not all that long at all, just a couple feet of pushing through, and you come out into a larger space inside the mystery flesh pit. And as you come out the side, you look, and the entire wall is just draped in these about finger thick 2, 3, 4, 6 foot long hairs that are just hanging down the sides of the walls. And in front of you is this what can only be described as a forest of hair sticking straight up. Some of them are just a few feet tall and as big around as your arm. Others, it would take two of you locking hands to wrap your hands around. And as you look up and shine your flashlight up, this part of the flesh pit just looks cavernous. It's probably 30, 40, 50 feet up to a ceiling far up above. And this hair just drifts far up into that cavernous space.
Is it dark or is it light above us?
There's no light anywhere except your flashlights. The rest of you follow and find yourself standing in this hair forest, looking around.
Do we have an extra flashlight because Ida died? I mean, escaped.
Yeah, sure. Ida dropped the flashlight. You have an extra flashlight. I'm fine with that. Did you need an extra flashlight, or were you just curious?
I needed one. What year is it again?
I think we were ambiguous 80s. I think that's what we settled on.
Cool. So things are still like dangerously made and not quality tested.
Absolutely.
Miles is going to take the spare flashlight and slam it on the ground so that the bulb cracks and the lens pops off.
Okay.
And then he's going to put it so that it's touching the hair and then turn the flashlight on to like spark and see if he can't light the hairs on fire.
See, I thought he was gonna feed the bulbous thing. I mean, the little jelly thing.
Feed it a flashlight.
Give it
A
power.
flashlight.
You spark the hair, and there is the smell of burnt hair that begins to fill, and the flashlight, the electricity going through into the now broken bulb, it starts like to smolder against this hair, but it doesn't seem to like catch and take off into a whirlwind of flames. All the rest of you notice that Miles is trying to start a forest fire in the hair of the forest of hair you're standing on.
I'll start stoking the embers.
We're in here. We're in
We'll go
the
down
hair.
We'll go
We're
down
in-
the misty tunnel instead.
Johnny will try to stomp it out. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get out of this place. I'm sick of it in here. It's smelly. The weird bumblebee dice creatures are trying to stab us with their butt knives. Fuck it. Ida's probably dead. I'm so tired. I'm tired of being covered in shit and goop and poo.
Callie's just gonna come over while you're doing this and just awkwardly like throw her arms around you, like from what like she doesn't like come up like to your front to give you a proper hug. She'll just throw her arms around like from whatever like side she comes, and like rest her little head on your shoulder.
All the
Sometimes my
clothes-
dad tells me that you can't burn all your problems away.
Your dad said that?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess if an
It's-
adult said it, then it makes sense.
It's gross and scary in here, but we're together, so that's pretty cool, I guess.
All my clothes are still wet.
I'm gonna reach in my backpack and pull out a My Little Pony like pullover sweater that has somehow like been safe through all of this, and like hold it in my hands for a second. You can wear this if you want to.
And he fit it.
Well, I'm only a year older than her, but I'm like probably a good 2 feet taller. Thanks. And he'll like strip off like his hoodie and shirt and like try to like squeeze in to this, and it'll be like a 3/4 sleeve shirt and a midriff, but it's warm. This is really soft on the inside.
It's because my mom washes it special because I really don't like itchy things in my shirts.
You got
Johnny's
me,
gonna
Bob.
walk over. Johnny's gonna put a hand in his shirt like, look, Daddy. Trust me, it's not fun down here, right? But I need you to hold it together. We will get out of here. We'll get safe. And we'll all get showers. You just gotta keep with the group and not try to set us all on fire. Okay?
Okay. And he pulls the sweater down to like just over his belly, just above his belly button. He tugs on the ends of it. He's like, okay. He turns his baseball cap around. He's like, let's go. He starts like stepping through like a jungle gym. You know, once you get past the smell, this is so bad.
As you say that,
Smell?
passing through, you come to a little bit of a clearing. And on the far side of the clearing, there's about a dozen creatures that the front of them looks to be about the size of a house slipper. But some of them, the back is ballooned to enormous sizes. And there's several dozen off to one side of this clearing. And one of them appears to be laying these eggs into a pile at the base of these long hairs.
When you say laying the eggs, do you mean like laying them? Like laying them?
Laying them right against the
Yeah.
base of the hairstone.
Open.
I stop. And I turn around and start climbing back the other way.
You can see as you look past them, the pipes lead past them deeper into the hair forest.
So,
We're not coming that way. We're not. No. It's not worth it. Missed.
just wordlessly, and I like climb past everybody. And just no.
Is there a way around?
Oh, there's ways. Yeah, you can sneak around them. You can fight around them. You can. There's space past them. Yes.
How much space?
Several dozen feet probably.
Okay.
I'll look back at everybody.
This is a much bigger space than like the vein that you were in.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Follow my lead. I'll start to whisper. I'll crouch down, and it'll be like the standard PlayStation. Just try to sneak around the side with everybody behind me.
Okay. Now your options, mechanically, really, all you need to do is keep your cool. So it's a grit. Snap decision.
Fuck.
That's my D4.
That's my D6.
Here goes nothing.
What does the strength cool under pressure?
I'm gonna add all my adversity to that, so I rolled a 9.
So before you do that, a 5 is fine. A 5 is exactly what you need, right?
Sarah rolled a 1, so like I'm gonna add all my adversity to do it to offset this terrible roll.
So think of Kids on Bikes as a lot of group checks. So the odds of something terrible happening are really low. If just one of you fails.
Out
So
everybody
if you
else.
want to hold your adversity, you can, or sure, I will let you pour them into the roll. It's up to you.
Oh, hold on.
Do you get an adversity token the second you roll real low?
As soon as you fail, you get an adversity token. But you've already failed this roll, so you can't turn around and give your adversity token to your failure.
Anniversary.
Gotcha. Well, for the next roll, I can use my luck ability, but not this one.
Okay. The group of you start to try and keep your cool working past this. Johnny is stone-faced during this trip. And as you step around and past these creatures, you've got several dozen feet, but as you step through, you pull the hairs apart and you can see that there are more. Oh, I thought the 26 was this roll. That was the old one.
That's the other roll. Sorry, I thought about the 8.
Nope, 8's still fine. 8, 9, and 5 all succeed. As you part the hair to walk through and follow the pipes, in front of you, there is another one of these exodes that is laying eggs just a couple feet away. Callie doesn't take it very well. Callie, what do you do when the hair parts and you see one of these things right in front of you?
Callie, who's been like slowly feeling very claustrophobic as we've been moving through this hair and there's these weird things, has been slowly starting to like hyperventilate. And as we like part the grass and there's one right there, and I imagine it moves gross little like arms at us, Callie's gonna like and like go to scream because she's not okay. Thank you.
I like
Yes.
grab her mouth and like put my hand over her mouth.
All three of you slap hands onto Callie's mouth. There is a stifled eep sound is all that escapes. You're able to hold it together and make your way through. push through the hair forest, get to the other side of this, and find yourself again faced with two passageways forward. Danny, tell me, one of these passageways has two school desk-sized discs at the top and the bottom. It's a little bit larger than the other passages. It's probably 4 feet high. And there are these discs, and the air between the two begins to fill with this like gaseous mist for a moment that's coming out of the desks. And then all of a sudden there's a bright light and a buzzing sound as the mist flashes and dissipates. It randomly appears to do this a few times. The other direction has this nose-searing ammonia scent that is coming out of that particular orifice. That is definitely the defining trait there. And as you look up higher, this orifice looks like a number of others that seem to be this strong ammonia smell. And near the ceiling, lighting across the wall, you see kind of this like white spiky ball thing that is rolling across the top of the wall, and it disappears into one of these orifices that looks a lot like the one you're staring at now. Now the pipes go through one of these too. Danny, you tell me which one.
The pipes go through the electric flashy one.
Okay. You look through, and the pipes pass through this passageway. There's this gaseous mist that comes up. There's a bright flash and a bzz as its spark connects the two plates. The pipes go that way. Just as you get ready to point this out to the rest of the group, there is a hissing sound from the distance far behind you. You're not sure what's going on, but something is going on deep in that hair forest behind you.
Should probably just go real fast, right, guys? If we run through the zaps, it can only zap us once.
Is that the plan?
I'm gonna get my Skechers ready for full sprint and a full send.
All right, I want you to roll me a d6 as you jump through this passageway.
I also have the flaw reckless.
That makes sense.
Oh, and 5.
5. You pass through. A few moments after you pass through, there's a zzz, misses you. You stumble into a larger area, and as you look around, there are these plates everywhere. You see so many sparks. And at the far end of this much smaller room, probably only 50, 60 feet across, you see two orifices on the far side with your flashlight. Who's going through next?
It's like a spy movie!
Is there as I'm watching this like kind of spark room, is there a pattern to the sparks, or does it seem totally random?
Roll me brains.
Yes, I will do this. That is a 5.
A 5. There does seem to be something of a pattern to it, but you're not sure you can get a handle on the exact. But you're lucky, right? So whatever that means for your next roll.
Yeah, so I can add my adversity tokens to reroll a stat check. So yeah, I'm gonna just try, like, understanding I have that there's a pattern.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and dart through.
Okay. As you go through, go ahead and roll a d6.
A 4.
It sparks behind you, and it misses you.
Nice.
You do not get hurt passing through. Miles, I'll need a d6 as you go through, unless you want to try and figure out the pattern also.
Just a d6, or is this like a grit roll?
This is a straight d6 because it's random.
5.
5. It sparks just before you go through, no problems at all. Johnny, you are the last one in the hairy room. And before you follow everyone else into through these spark plates, you turn and look, and you can see about a dozen Gregs climbing at the top of these hairs and along the sides, heading your way quickly.
I'm quickly going to jump through then.
Roll a d6.
Just a d6 or a skill check?
Just a d6. 2. It sparks. Also, you miss it, but just barely. You can feel a singe on your back as you jump through this, jump through these plates and the energy that's passing between them. Now, this room, just from a meta standpoint, there are these plates and sparks everywhere. So what I'm going to have you all do is each of you together, you will all roll a flight check. This will determine how far across this room you have gone and whether or not you will be subjected to another random chance of getting electrocuted. Once you reach a certain number, 7 is good, 2, flight, not fight. Johnny wants to punch the floor.
Apparently I'm dyslexic as well. I don't know what I keep doing that for.
Well, you got a 2 anyway. Everyone got a 7 except for Robotic, who got a 2. So 3 of you make it about a third of the way across this room. And then I'm going to roll a d6 and see if you're subjected to it. There are sparks everywhere as you are jumping through, but they are not connecting with any of you. Go ahead and roll another flight as you keep running and dodging, unless you want to try and study the pattern or something else along the way. A 10 as Danny makes it most of the way across. Johnny stumbles through. Just
Come on, Johnny.
to where Danny was before Danny put on the gas.
Flight is my worst skill.
What?
And
Tracer.
Miles puts everyone behind them and makes it all the way to the far side of the room.
That should only be a 9. It added 10 instead of 1. Well,
No. So
plus 8. Oh, it's exploding dice.
Great.
Never mind.
exploded
Great.
the dice.
Holy shit.
So yes, Miles, tell me about Miles finding it in him to sprint across this space.
The thought of those horrible ticks that we left in the hair, that image like sticks in his brain for a second, and he like shivers, and like almost as if like when you're leaving the room where you saw a spider on the ceiling, you run out of that room and into the next one to find like a giant book or a shoe or something to throw at the ceiling, is how he sprints across this walkway.
He definitely pours it on. The rest of you, as you are working your way through, there's this zzz, 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 and all 3 of you get caught in this arc of electric current that passes through, and it stings and numbs at the same time. Your little goopy friend, Danny, starts just like buzzing with vibrations as the energy passes through, makes kind of a little bit of a whimpering sound. The 3 of you that haven't made it, one more flight. Or brains if you want to try and study the pattern or anything else. You 2 make it the rest of the way
Loading
across.
No, Rob, no.
Johnny stops for a second to try and sort out this pattern behind the shocks, and you think you have it figured out. You are positive, and just before you take the step to commit, the plates in front of you spark, and it just really throws you off. You stumble back. You're the only one not across the room. Everyone else is on the far side. You turn. Johnny's only halfway across the room at best.
Callie's gonna turn back and scream like, "It's the dance hall days by Wang Chung." She's trying to like communicate what the pattern is. It's just the beat to dance hall days.
Hell yeah it is.
Just the. You can kind of hear it. It's not exactly there, but it's pretty close.
Dance hall.
Stunned by all the electrocutions I am suffering right.
Go ahead and give me
That's
one more flight.
I did. It's a 3.
Oh, a 3?
Yeah.
I missed it. As you make it a few more steps, you're still not all the way across. The rest of you look through, and little Gregs on their 6 legs and their gumball or their gusher heads start entering the room at the far side. And every once in a while, there's this zzz, and one of them gets caught in the electricity and just its little gusher head bursts. But they're right behind you, and they are going to be doing their best to catch up. So we will see if you can make it without a fight. Now, the 3 of you, we'll see how far they get. They start heading their way toward Johnny. They're only about a third of the way. Johnny's still a big distance. The other 3 of you turn and look, and there are 2 more entrances. And well, Johnny, you can see them from here. One of the entrances has exposed white bone all the way around it. And it seems to be a much wider passage than any you've seen yet. It's probably about 8 feet across. And the other one, you can see it is opening and closing. And does anyone have, any of the other 3 of you have long hair? Your little kid? Yep,
Yeah,
Danny and
Kelly
Callie.
does.
I did
Both have
until I
long-
fell in the sealant on the driveway. My hair had to get cut.
Going down here
Callie's
amazing.
long. Johnny, you look up and you can see Callie's long hair is being blown away from this smaller entry behind her, and you can actually see the ends being sucked back towards it a little bit too. The 3 of you can feel it. There is definitely some respiration from that. This audible coming out of that. Johnny, as you are running across the room, which of these 2 entrances do the pipes go down?
I'm gonna take Weird Bones for 200.
So, Johnny, as you are running halfway across, you yell out, "That way, that way, that way," and point to the Weird Bones. You can see that the pipes go along the wall and pass into that particular area. Johnny, I need one more flight from you. It should be enough to get across unless you absolutely flub it.
Why would you say something?
A 3 is enough. A 3 is enough. You make it. You stumble the rest of the way. Behind you, the at least 2 of these bacteriophages have all they like slap their heads against the floor right behind your heels as you are running. And if it weren't for one of these nerves popping off and bursting them, they might have been able to catch the group of you. You start all sprinting down this bony rimmed 8-foot wide hallway. And unlike the calcified sides on the veins, this, you take a few steps and the metal walkway and the handrail you've seen periodically are almost completely encased in bone, but it's mostly smooth, and it's smooth around the sides. And you can see that the walls and the bone thicken, and you have really a very clear-cut direction down. Behind you, every time that lights up, I have to check and see if it's something important. As you are heading down this passage, you look behind you, and there are dozens of Gregs that are trying to make their way across the nervous system part, and they just keep popping in the electric discharges. But there's more, and there's more, and there's more. And Johnny, since you were so close to them, you notice for the first time that when one of these things goes down and its little head pops, there are little tiny finger-sized versions of it that get up out of the mess that pops and start skittering along with the rest of it.
That just made my day worse.
This white bone enters a much larger area. This is the largest area inside the flesh pit you've seen. It's probably a football field in length, 100 feet wide, and there are these tiers of bone. And as you look, there is rusted construction equipment everywhere. Old, broken down, all of it has the Anodyne logo on the side, and you can see that these cuts have been made into the bone. It's almost like parts of this skeletal structure have been cut away and excavated. And you can see the pipes leading their way along the wall up this long stack of oversized, probably, 15-foot tall ledges that lead up high up to the side, going up further and further into the distance where these pipes lead. You can see bulldozers, a crane, a backhoe, all sorts of mechanical equipment down here, and then clean cut blocks of this bone. What's the plan?
Where are the people? Clearly people stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
WTF, mate? Where? Yeah.
You
Lunch.
You don't see anybody.
Can we get up on one of these rooftops? Maybe the higher we get, we could get a vantage point to where everyone's at.
Johnny, can you drive yet? Can you drive a bulldozer?
Most certainly try. I can get up there and yeah.
All right. So you're gonna climb into one of the backhoes, a bulldozer, crane. What are you gonna climb into?
So many options. Let's try the bulldozer.
All right. You climb up into the into the cab of this bulldozer, and it seems to be in rough shape. There is a rolled up magazine that is stuck between the seat and the side that you notice. The keys are hanging in the bulldozer itself. And
Roll brain to see how quickly I could just skim this manual.
you grab the magazine and open it up, and it is the April 1961 issue of Playboy.
Oh, I'm just gonna stick that in my backpack before anybody notices, and then I'm gonna try and figure out these controls.
It looks slightly like a car. There's a key and there's pedals and there's levers. You can give me a
Hang on.
brains check.
Hell yeah, buddy.
That is a fantastic 20 on an exploding D12 or 22. You turn this key and there's this the engine. It kicks up, it turns over, starts belching out this nasty diesel smoke out the top. You pull a few levers and you find the lever to raise the bucket on this bulldozer. You find the lever to make it go forward and back, and it kind of jerks a little bit. But yeah, you're able to get it moving quite nicely.
As this thing is moving, I'm like, this is just like Tron. And I
Hell yeah.
I yell for the rest of the guys to climb on somewhere.
Perfect.
I climb on and bring my sticky friend up.
The little goop friend is kind of looking around, and it starts making a blubbling sound, kind of like the engine turning over.
Yeah.
You climb in. You start making your way up a path that has been carved in the side as they've been cutting these out. You drive up and follow these pipes along. It cuts back and forth quite a bit. You know, it's a football field distance. It's rising with each level. It doesn't take too long before you get to the very top. When you do, you climb out and can turn around. And far at the bottom of this, there's now 50, 60, 75 Gregs that are pouring through the skeletal hallway that you just came out. You look at the pipes, and the pipe goes through one more exit, or one more set of choices. Well, no, it's 11:13. It goes through one more exit, and it goes past what looks like a very dim blue light in an alcove. You head over and take a look, and when you turn and look, there is a blue light station, and it says emergency call station at the top. And there is a telephone half encased in the fleshy wall of the
when Callie sees this, she's gonna freak out, and she's gonna look at Danny. Give me the little guy. And Callie will just take him, and like the little goo kind of like getting all over her hands, she'll wince. But she's gonna hop out of the truck and run over and just like sticky hands splat this little dude on the wall and say, "We need that phone. Give us that phone. I want to try and use the controlling by touch and have our little flesh guy move the flesh back so we can like get to the phone."
Excellent. You squish this guy, this little goop on the side, and you're saying this as you're holding it, and you get this feeling of like, understanding passes into your hands, and you squoosh him against the floor, the wall, and go ahead and give me 2d4. They have 8 psychic energy now because you fed them one of the Gregs. So 2d4, and you can add as much of. I was gonna say you need to get a 6, so you don't have to add anything. So the little flesh thing, it sticks to the side, and there's this moment of kind of quiet, and then the flesh starts to pulse, and the walls of the mystery flesh pit itself apart, and the phone emerges from the wall enough that you can get a hold of this.
Yeah, Callie's going to immediately get the phone and do what her parents taught her to do in case of an emergency, which is call 911.
Okay. You pick up the phone. There is a dial tone. You dial 911. It rings. Someone picks up on the other side. Hello, you have been rerouted to Mystery Flesh Pit National Park Security and Safety Division. How can we assist you?
Hi, my name is Callie, and I am down here with my friends, and we're trying to cut on the things, and then there was a bunch of Gregs, and they tried to eat us, and my friend Mouse fell down a whole bunch, and then we had to run through the tunnel, and there was a big worm sound, and then there was this, and we need help, but you gotta come find us before the electricity gets us, because it was through the dance all day song, and Johnny's not very good at dancing, but then Danny found this little squishy guy that made it so we could get the phone, and I could call you. I need to call my mom and dad, please. Their name is Mr. and Mrs. Ian.
Miss, I'm sorry, did you say your name was Callie?
Yes, my name is Callie, and I am Mrs. and Mrs. Callie just rattling up again.
During this, the rest of you turn and look, and there are scores of Gregs that are climbing up these 15-foot tall skeletons. They're kind of smashing into the sides and climbing on top of each other and laddering their way up slowly. Callie, you're one of the
Yes,
kids
yes.
that went down in the gantry.
Yeah, we went in the gantry and we tried to find something to, but we couldn't find one. But don't worry, that we found one.
Look,
I'm
miss, there
gonna
is-
scream in the background, like pull the bottom of the phone down a bit, and just be like, "There's Greg's on the bones! So many Greg's on the bones! We're in the bones!"
in the. Just give me one moment, ma'am or miss. Stay calm. Let me reference a few charts here. Try to remain calm and quiet. You keep saying Greg's. Could you please explain to me what a Greg?
Yes, I can tell you what they are. They have weird gusher heads and they have 6 legs, and sometimes when they explode, there are little Gregs that come out of them, and it's really disgusting. And sometimes Gregs look like worms.
Miss, this is very important. Did any of you get bit by a Greg?
I don't think that any of us got bit by a Greg, but maybe Miles got really close to almost being bit. But Miles, did you get bit by a Greg?
I don't see any bite marks on me. I got headbutted by one though.
We don't see any bite marks by the time we got hit by a Greg, and there's lots of them, and they're really gross. I saw them in the water once, and that was kind of crazy because I didn't think that Gregs could swim like that.
Miss, it's very important that you keep your distance from those creatures. You said that there's some in the room right now?
Yeah, there's like 500 million of them, and I didn't even know they could do that.
Okay, Miss, I think I've... You're in the old excavator. You hit this moment where like this operator figures out where you are. Oh, yes. Miss, if you would look to your left, there should
Callie
be...
has to hold the phone and do this thing to know which way is left. Oh, okay, I got it.
You should see that there is a passage that leads, and they start describing this passageway off to the side, and you turn and look, and you can see there's this door like hanging partially on a hinge, but it was mostly covered by the bone. You didn't see it at first. Miss, you and your friends, all of your friends are there, right? Now one did make it back up. We found a little Ida.
Oh, that's pretty cool that she made it all the way up there. That's pretty incredible and remarkable. Did she find my little pony toy that I used to help save us from before?
She told us that you were down there and a little bit of what happened. Miss, I need you to go through that door. And when you go through that door, there is going to be, well, it's a slide. You need to go
like
down
a water
the slide.
slide?
Did she say a fucking slide?
Yeah, that's totally a slide, and they said it's like a water slide.
The other side of the door, away from the Gregs!
Yeah, we gotta go to. Okay, lady,
You
we're
gotta-
gonna go there. We'll go down the
Bye!
slide. Is there anything else we need to do, lady?
If you follow that path down, then there are some rangers down near the lower ranger station. That's where you will come out. So I need you to hang up the phone, stay away from the bacteriophages, the Gregs, and just go down the slide.
Miles is already doing like a flying kick through the door as he starts running towards the slide.
You kick the door down. Miles, you run through, and you can see that there is it's mostly buried in the flesh of the wall of flesh, but it says Emer Egg. Emer Eggs.
I found the Americ!
I'm
Right.
gonna go now. And gonna go down the slide, and then you can find us. And you make sure that they have my inhaler and also gross in here. Okay, bye. And Callie will just slam the phone on the receiver, like really proud of her first 911 call. Well, her first 911 call in this location.
You follow Miles through. Miles, you can see that there it says emergency X, and then underneath there is about a foot wide sphincter that seems quite tight.
Tickle it.
A
I don't know if that's
sphincter?
what. Yeah, that's what like you tickle someone when you want them to let go of something. I want to get out of here.
Punch the sphincter.
Reflexively, it widens, and you can jump down.
I wanted to say that were not appropriate to that statement.
Did it cough?
It does.
Oh no. I hate everything about this. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. No, I'll cut you. No. You son of a...
After
That's
slapping
what
the
said. I
side-
don't know if you said how could you or I'll cut you, but I felt like both were true.
No.
Can I
That was very
use?
good.
Can I see? Go. Let me see Sticky for a second. I'll grab the goopy boy.
Ah, my goop.
I want to use.
Oh my god.
I want to use both of the powers at the same time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put him on my hand and I'm gonna squish him until he starts to seep through the fingers, and I'll go, Capri Sun. And I want him to envelope my whole body, and he's gonna make like a muscly doppelganger of me, but like an exosuit. And I want to punch the sphincter repeatedly until it just like spasms and gives up and loosens, so that we can get through.
In what is one of the more disturbing displays that any of you have seen in your young lives, you see your friend
so cool.
encase themselves in goop armor.
Capri Sun.
Blow.
No, it doesn't make that sound.
It does.
Definitely does.
I know it does. I
And
don't like it.
the Emer X relaxes, and you are able to.
Already your deep side.
And you're able to dive in, Miles. Each of you, in turn, jump through the now relaxed emergency or Emer X, and you start sliding through this dark, tight tube, and you get this distinct feeling that the sides are pressing in on you and pooping you outwards towards whichever direction that you are heading.
That's what it feels like to be pooped, huh?
Is Danny just yelling, I'm poop?
Poop! Just hear that up and down. Poop! Johnny's poop! Daddy's poop! Miles, your poop!
Oh no.
There is this journey in the dark. And
I think this was a South Park episode.
Get out.
how long does that sound go?
As long as we need it, HP.
And
As long as we need it.
as you pass through, there is a sudden plop as you hit free air and land in a heap in a much nicer kept path. And you land with a squelching plop onto a well-lit path. Right next to you, maybe a dozen feet away, looking at the ceiling, is a surprised and surprisingly well-armed park ranger. She jumps back and trains an M16 machine gun in your direction. Before recognizing your kids, voice cracking in surprise. What are you? You're the kids! Dispatch said that you drop out of one of these, and they point up and you see a series of sphincters across the ceiling. In a few moments, they start releasing, and little
Oh,
Gregs start dropping out around you. Another and another.
I can't
And
even relish
another.
being poop. I've already got to run. Oh shit!
No!
Corn dog, if you don't tweet that shit right now, I'll never forgive you.
The park ranger looks at the four of you and goes, "Run!" and points down the path and just starts opening up with an M16 on these bacteriophages that are dropping from the sphincters above you all around. Run! Run! I need everyone to make grit, flight, or even charm as you run
Oh,
away.
I'm
I'll
going
do
with charm.
charm.
For sure.
+1.
And I'm going to use my 2 adversity to roll again.
Oh my god.
Perfect. So
Yeah,
I have.
baby.
My two
Yeah.
roll again too.
All right.
I'm gonna spend 2 to roll again. Well, I got an 11, but I'm
11's good. 19's good.
I want to roll again. I got a 12. I beat my last number. Fuck yeah.
I guess I'm just
I
going
have a 5.
5. Everyone starts running and dodging and trying to feint these bacteriophages as they drop. And the only one that has trouble is Danny. And the park ranger turns and grabs you by the backpack and shoves you out of the way as
Oops, sorry.
as one of the orifices above, right where you were standing, opens up and a pile of a dozen Gregs just get sprayed out and cover this park ranger. And you can just hear them run, run, ah, ah. You all
Yeah.
sprint down this pathway. You begin to approach the lower visitor center. You see signs for it. It's in the distance. This large metal framed building with big glass windows at the base of the gantry. When you get close enough, you can see that there are actually concrete pylons hastily wrapped in barbed wire to greet you. There are 3 parked rangers, fully masked, helmeted, wearing body armor, armed with N16s that see you running and showing remarkable aim. They start picking off these bacteriophages that are sprinting after you. You glance over your shoulder, and there are now hundreds of these things pouring out of the ceiling, racing down these paths behind you. There's this controlled pop, pop, pop of gunfire that covers your retreat. As soon as you make it past the barbed wire, all of them open up, and it is just full blown, fully automatic as these rangers lay into all these bacteriophages. Run, run! They start directing you. There's another one that's over by a metal door that's motioning with their hand. You make your way up. They push you through. In the center of this visitor center, you can see that it has hastily been turned into some kind of a base. There's ammo boxes. There are rolls of barbed wire yet to be deployed, and in the very center, there are ropes that descend or that ascend far into the darkness above, far up into the pet entry orifice. A group of park rangers are hastily putting gear on. You can hear crackling and chattering over the radios in their ears. You can hear a yell on the outside. One of the machine guns that opened up goes quiet. A ranger grabs each of you, starts hastily tossing you into climbing gear, into a vest, attaching metal clips to you, to their belts, trying to give you directions. It is so loud. There's so much going on. It is so confusing. The lights start flickering, and one of the rangers looks down at each of you. Each of you have a ranger that has a hold of you and goes, "Listen, this is going to be a long journey in the dark. I need you to be quiet and calm. Are you ready?"
Yeah, but I'm not so big at being quiet. Sometimes I play. So, and Callie just starts rattling off stuff to her park ranger.
I would say that for Danny, she's being unnervingly quiet. As now they're around adults, she's working on getting her little jelly friend to somehow stay quiet underneath her shirt, where she definitely put this creature that she is going to attempt. Hiding.
John, following all instructions.
Miles, you ready?
Yeah, Miles doesn't stop running until he hits Alaska. Like, he doesn't want to see this place ever again. Realistically, he probably runs all the way back until he finds the car and sits on top of it until the end of his fucking vacation.
It's definitely the plan. The ranger grabs you as you start sprinting, connects you to the harness. You realize at that moment the sound of the automatic gunfire outside has stopped, and there's now this. You look over to the glass windows, and there are Gregs covering the windows, and you can see them jabbing the windows with the needles in their butts. And about the time that the last cinch is tightened, there's this pistol shot that rings out as one of your rangers starts shooting. Glass shatters. Now, go, 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 go. The rangers rip on the ropes and start pulling, raising you up in the air. You pass through a hole in the ceiling of the visitor center where the gantry entered, and you just start passing up and through the dark. There is this moment where bacteriophages rain off of the walls around you before you pass above them all, and you just start slowly ascending in the dark. After about a minute of this ascension by rope, the ranger that has a hold of each of you says some variation of, "You're safe now. It's okay." There's this whirring sound as they attach to a small gearbox that winches them up further. We don't know how you escaped that gondola, much less how all of you made it through those old untracked regions of Mystery Flesh Pit. But they're pulling us up about now. We'll be there in 20 minutes or so. Try to enjoy the trip. And that conclude our escape.
We did it! And none of us got bit, and that is astonishing to me.
Hey, Mr. Park Ranger, could I see your gun there for a second?
Right. But also, the trauma that's going to set in for these fictional children. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You'll never take me, phages!
Oh!
Johnny is definitely changing his major.
That concludes our little journey. All of you get to the top. We can kind of have this moment of a one shot where you could tell us what happens to your poor little character next. When you do get up, yes, Ida is there, safe and sound. So Ida did make it to the very top. To protect herself, she just couldn't get the rest of you behind her. That's quite all right. So we'll go around in overlay order, and you just you give us the epilogue and whatever you want to give about your character's experience in the flesh pit and what their plans are now. So I think that begins with Robotic. Tell us what Johnny does now.
Well, Johnny would submit the information he had on both Gregs, and unfortunately, they've already been named prior, so none of our heroes get credit for naming it, which is the last straw for him. When he goes to school, he does not pursue that bio degree to become a ranger himself one day. Instead, he switches over to computer science and one day gets a job at this company called Activision. That's a nice little startup.
Fantastic. A happy ending. Now, did Johnny still get Christmas?
Yeah. I mean, because you can't really call that a vacation. I mean, trauma. I mean, I guess what all he got for Christmas was therapy, probably.
Probably makes sense. Continuing around, tell us about Callie. Oh, Sarah X. What happens after?
Yeah, I think Callie was the one kid that was not jazzed about this trip at all. She did not want to go to there. Her parents convinced her that this would be a fun time. They were wrong. But I think in going through that experience, Callie kind of realized like everybody's kind of faking it in a weird way. Like she realized like when she was put in a situation that she could kind of figure stuff out, and I think her confidence actually grows following this. her parents have some like disturbing conversations with her following this, and maybe she's overly confident when she goes back to class and might accidentally traumatize some of her fellow classmates with the experience, just because she's like very excited, like, hey, I did this thing and I was okay. And she would definitely, I think eventually she grows up to be an investigative journalist of some kind, someone who's just very interested in learning about all of the things and how all of the things can go wrong, and exposing that, because I think that that just kind of fits her mentality, and I think she's moderately successful. Generally lives a quiet life, uh, and never really gets over that speech impediment to say the word sphincter correctly.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Bright, how about Miles?
Upon returning home, Miles takes down all of his weird posters, throws out all of his books regarding the supernatural, the cryptid, uh, and the cryptozoological, and grows up to be a crime scene cleanup crew.
Is he a serial killer?
Uh, no, just super traumatized by all of the goops, gobs, and being one for a brief moment with a flesh creature. Left him with an obsessive need to be clean all the time.
Perfect. And then Corn Dog. How about Danny and the little friend smuggled out of Mystery Flesh Pit?
You know, I did my best to keep my little friend smuggled. I think once an adult tried to take away my friend from me, in particular alerted the authorities about my friend being out of the pit. That started my villain origin story. As I seek to find all of these precious little creatures and bring them out into the world because they deserve to be out here. So I am considering things about the Mystery Flesh Pit and how I can unleash it upon the earth so all may revel in what the pit is and what it could become. She goes and becomes a cultist, but of like the highest degree.
Yep. If anyone joined a cult, I could see it being.
It'd be me.
So thank you everyone for joining us on our two-part one-shot journey into Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. I had a lot of fun. I hope everyone else did as well. It is a fantastic setting. Again, Trevor Roberts is the author of the setting. I believe that the plan is for this to become a TTRPG setting. That's going to be at some point pushed for either Kickstarter or one of the fundraising sites. Right now, there is a very fascinating Tumblr that has all sorts of stuff on the Mystery Flesh Pit. Just so much world development already. It's a very interesting thing. If you go on the Reddit board, if you go to Reddit and search up Mystery Flesh Pit, there is also a moderated board that has people that are talking about other Mystery Flesh Pits that are maybe smaller or different that are spread around the world. And there's kind of this whole mythos coming together. I just think it is a hysterical idea that there are people were digging for oil and they found something buried beneath the sand. There's just something about that that really drew me in and allowed me to have some fun writing this particular adventure set in the Flesh Pit and these fantastic players that ran through it. So thank you so much for joining us. We are going to do our outros. We'll go back around one more time now that we've gotten the summaries of our characters. Tell us again who you are and where we can find you next. So Robotic first.
I'm Robotic Gentleman. You can catch me on Twitter under the same name. I don't have any other. Well, actually, I do. I got a ongoing campaign with on 1 in 20's channel. You can catch that every other Thursday around 8, 9 o'clock, 8:30. Aside from that, you all take care of yourselves, and I'm probably gonna need a shower just from the grossness of all of this.
Perfect. Oserex.
Hi, yeah, I'm Oserex Franco. I played Callie, a little nervous mess, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. All the gross, ooey gooey weirdness. It was delightful. If you like my face and the words I say sometimes, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the places at Oserex Franco. I do a variety of TTRPG content here. On Neon Lights Roleplay and across several other amazing communities. The next time you can see me doing those things, it's going to be Sunday. I've got some back-to-back streams. First thing, bright and squirrely, Sunday morning. I'm joined by Keegan for Character Study, a cult classic show where we're joined by Anita to learn more about them and the character that she will build in Cypher system. So I'm very excited about that. And then right after, we're going to hop over to Nat 20, where I run an apocalypse world game called Dirt. Bright's one of my players there. I'm really excited. We're getting into it. We just crashed a murder bus and lost the thing that we left Dirt in the first place to find. So it's going to be really interesting to see where the players go from there. You can catch me Wednesday on Nat 20 for Against the Tides. So many other things. Keep it. Best place to know where I'm going to be next is Twitter. Yeah, that's me.
And on to Bright.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bright. You can find me on Bright Dystopia on most forms of social media, mostly Twitch. Fuck the Bird app. The Bird app can burn in hell. Burn the Bird app to the ground. Throw it into the sun. But you can follow me there for the next 5 minutes before it becomes a dystopian hellscape. The next time you can find me, yes, Bright Dystopia is the good place. Twitter Dystopia is the bad Elon place. What was I saying? Oh, next place you can find me. I think sometime this month we're playing another episode of The Reclaimers on my channel. So come hang out, and I'll announce it on Twitter. They can't shut it down before the end of the month, right? Otherwise, you can find me every Tuesday. Oh, fuck me, I can't say words today. Sunday and Monday on my channel in the evenings. After Dirt here at Nat 20, I head over to my channel where I usually play group games or individual horror games. On Mondays, I play with my best buddy Ash, who is also my product designer for all of the stuff I wear on stream. Every other Wednesday, you can find me at Against the Tides here on Nat 20. Sarah is also a part of that one, and Ash, who I mentioned earlier, is the GM for that game. You can also find me every other Thursday on Nat 20 for All Hail the Queen, where I play with Corndog and Chrissy, who was not here, in the most chaotic game to have ever gamed. I am Mystery Flesh Pit in a character, and then there's other people doing their own Mystery Flesh Pits in their hearts and minds. And that is it. I think that's it.
All right.
That's it.
Corn Dog, we are hitting the statue cosplay, but they can still hear us. So tell us where we can find you.
It's me, Cornic Barra. You can find me here in about 10 days' time for a Digimon episode of the Animon story. Come hang out on Neon Lights Roleplay. Otherwise, in 13 days, something like that, I'll be over on Nat 20, like Bright said. You can find me on the internet at Corndog McGraw. Deuces.
Fantastic, and I have been and will continue to be the Last Hit Point Hero. You can find me on Neon Lights Roleplay. This up next, following, not right now, Friday after. For Cold Hands, Warm Hearts, our ongoing Frost Maiden campaign. We are hitting, I don't know, episode like 40 at this point. I really don't know for sure. After that is over on Net 20 on Sunday, a fantastic space Spelljammer campaign where we are flying in space with the one and indeemable Foxy, who is behind the screen right now. I think that is, Chrissy also, who's not here, is in that game, having a lot of fun. I think that is. Oh, hey, we came back briefly. I think that is everything for us. Thank you for joining us. Until we see you all again, there is one rule, just one rule. Be good.
No!
Be good, right?
Okay.